Okay. Wait. Hello? Okay, bet. So normally I have my OBS right here. I have my OBS over here because the past I'm like recording a video. Sorry. I had Chick-fil-A for lunch. It was pretty good. Um, I don't want to like constantly look over here. I'm gonna move it over here real quick. But usually I what was I saying? I like fully lost my train of thought there. Like usually I think I don't even know what was I gonna say. I was gonna say something like usually I blah 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 blah. I don't know. Whatever. I really think there's some I talked about I remember that. Okay. Two welcome back. Okay. We were 52 seconds into this we were 52 hold on. 58, 59. Okay, we're 1 minute in, I'm gonna fully restart. Welcome back to the Aiden Wright Vlogs YouTube channel. Where Aiden Wright vlog. Even though I like genuinely have zero vlogs on this channel. I recorded a full vlog, never uploaded it because never edited it. It was like a month or two ago. Genuinely. But welcome back. I if you're new and you made it a minute and 22 seconds in, I highly doubt that. Um I just yap here. I genuinely just yap about certain topics. 2 vlogs ago, I talked about how about something. I think it was my I think I'm like 90% sure it was like I like slightly brought up the topic of LARPing. I love LARPing. Like I love like LARPing. Not we're getting into that today. And I said, but that's a topic for another day. And then I made another vlog after that where I didn't talk about that topic. I was like, but I fully forgot what it was. And I think if I remember correctly, it was LARPing. And I think LARPing is on my mind right now because influence plays a major role in what you do. Like, I don't want to sound like, oh, I'm a wise poet. No, I'm younger than literally all of my friends. I'm one of the youngest people I know. I know like 2 people that are in my grade that are younger than me. Two. I know like 400 people. And I'm one of those 2 people is from my middle school. My middle school had another 400 people. Whatever. Again, it sounds like I'm young because I'm saying, oh, in middle school. I'm, I'm a senior in high school next year. That's crazy. I'm old. I'm unk. I'm not unk. I'm extremely young. Whatever. But I do think over time I've realized that influence plays a major role in how like you shape your decisions and become whoever you want to become. I think one of the greatest things, I'm not saying I'm the greatest person in the world. I'm happy with the path I've gone down. And I think a major thing that has helped me on that path is February 2025. 16 months ago, I watched the entirety of Vinland Saga, Season 1 and Season 2, and now I own 7 of the deluxe edition books of that. And I've watched the show roughly 3 times, I think. It's amazing. I'm not going to get into Vinland Saga. I'm getting notifications on my cellular device. I'm putting it to the side. I think it plays a major role in who you shape yourself to be. Vinland Saga, for example, in my personal case, is a show about war, obsession, um, like anger and like hatred, and then it's got also themes of rebirth, like forgiveness and like pacifism, and I really love that. Like it's I don't know. I'm not gonna get into it. You should watch it. I highly recommend. Literally every single person should watch Vinland Saga. Not every single person, but like I highly recommend. It's my favorite show of all time. Anyway, I'm yapping. How does this relate to LARPing? Okay, influence shapes you as a person. LARPing, LARPing also shapes you as a person. No, like I don't know if you ever seen like that common I think the most common way of advertising LARPing, like the idea of LARPing, advertising it, is like you go to sleep every night. To go to sleep, you have to pretend to be asleep. Like if you want to go to sleep, get into bed, pull up the covers, whatever. I don't know, assuming get into bed, pull up the covers, eyes closed, silent, and then you fall asleep. And when you're asleep, in bed, covers, eyes are closed, of course, silent. Like you have to pretend that you are asleep to fall asleep. Therefore, LARPing, not live action roleplay. LARP, live action roleplay. LARPing, as in, I don't even know, what's the definition of LARPing? I'm searching it up. LARPing. LARPing, live action roleplay, is an interactive hobby. LARPing meaning slang. In slang, LARP means pretending to be someone you're not, faking an expertise, or living a performative lifestyle for attention. You need to fake being who you want to become. Like, I really, really do think that LARPing is the key to achieving anything you want to achieve. Genuinely. Like, think about it for a sec. No, nobody knows about this channel, right? So, like, I can just say whatever. I thought about this. I've never, like, said this aloud. This might be crazy to say. Debate me if you want. I'm not saying that if... I think LARPing is similar to willpower. If you will, you can will nearly anything into existence if you will it enough. I'm not saying that every single person that doesn't have a job in the world could get a job if they willed it enough, because they don't want to have a job enough. I think a major impact, I think a major part of every single, like, if you got this statistic of however many people in the entire world don't have, like, a job for whatever reason, and you made sure that they have their number one thing they want to do, like, their number one, it has to be, like, above all other priorities, everything. If above every priority was getting a job, like making money over everything, I'm not saying every single one of them would get a job. I think there'd be well, I'm speaking really loud, so, like, it's like, I think my microphone is peaking. Whatever. I normally have, like, it lowered, like, down. I can lower it right here, and then I can raise it up like this, like, again. I don't have it, whatever. I think it's gonna be really loud. Whatever, it's fine. I'm not saying every single one of them could get a job if they willed it with the 100%. Their number one priority was getting a job. They woke up every day and they worked every day to achieve getting a job. I'm not saying all of them could get a job. I'm saying if you took the statistic of, that's way more than this, but let's say there's 100,000 people that don't have jobs. So let's narrow it. It's not in the whole world. Within an area, there's 100,000 people without a job. I think that could be lowered below 100,000 for sure. If they really, with everything, every, like, fiber of their being was fixing their situation. Like, that might be crazy to say. And that's, like, an extreme example, that's like, oh, like, you need it to survive. You need to get a job. I'm not saying you don't want to, like, I'm definitely not in your shoes. I feel like it looks really bad saying that. Whatever. I'm just saying genuinely anything. But what I'm saying is, Kanye once said, no, it wasn't Kanye. Who was it? It was Togi. I think that's how you name it. Is his name, like, Toge? No, wait. Streamer. He's like a gambler, right? Oh, Togi. Yeah, Togi. Whatever. I think that's how you say his name. This dude. If you don't know who Togi is, he's got a YouTube channel. How big is his YouTube? 1.12 million subscribers. What he does, literally, I don't even know what he does. He just does things. He literally just does things. He's got the crazy, I'm looking at his YouTube. Dude, like, I'm looking at his channel right now. I go to his latest videos, 8th most recent video, betting my net worth on black. Thumbnail is him with 4 Rolexes. And it's got 1.6 million views. From what I know about him, he just gambles so much. He loves, and he's really, really good at it. He's really, really good at it. And in an interview, well, I'm not, like, the biggest fan of him, but I've seen a little bit about him. One thing I do remember him saying is a quote. He said, or is like, I'm gonna pull up the exact quote. Factually, I can. I think is what he said. Factually, I could. Yeah. Quote. I get the exact quote here. I'm not gonna play it. I'm not gonna like pull it up. I don't edit these. You know. Um. Yeah, he was on a podcast and he said, "It doesn't matter if it's YouTube. I could go over, become Mr. Olympia, and be the best bodybuilder in the world. I could go to the moon if I wanted to, and I'm gonna get rich. You know what I mean?" And then the podcaster that was interviewing him said, "Objectively, no. How are you going to the moon?" And he said, "Factually, my mic peaked. Factually, I could." Because it's just if you want to do something, like it is more than anything in the world. I think you could do nearly anything. I'm not saying I could take my phone here. If it was the one thing I wanted in the world, it wouldn't drop right now. Oh no, my phone is dropped right now. I'm not saying that right now. But I'm saying, oh, if I wanted to run a marathon, if I wanted to like run a marathon in, I wouldn't say less than an hour. It usually takes like 6 hours. If I wanted to run a sub 5 hour marathon, I think I can do that. Running a marathon is on my to do list in my lifetime. I want to do that at some point in my life. I might even want to go skydiving at one point. I've got a fear of falling from high places. Not really heights, just more falling from them. You can do anything. And influence I don't want to say influence influences you, but the people that influence you really do influence you. I'm not saying to cut off the day ones, but I'm saying if you don't want to become like if you grow up in a household of a bunch of smokers and you don't want to smoke, don't hang out with people that are going to smoke. Simple as that. Like, not as simple as that at all, actually. Sorry, but like you got to understand like who you surround yourself with, what the content you consume, what you believe you can do influences. I think it's one of the biggest influence. It's not one of the biggest influence. I don't even know what I'm saying right now. Like, I really just think being aware of what influences you is really important. And LARPing, aka pretending to be something that you're not, is actually incredibly, I'm like peeking in my microphone, is actually incredibly important, because if you pretend you're something you're not, if you believe that you're something, if you genuinely believe you're something you're not, if I genuinely believe I'm destined to make $1 billion with 100% certainty, I value making $1 billion over literally everything else. I could make $1 billion. Simple as that. That's just how it is. If you can like make yourself believe that you can do anything, you will do anything. That's it. I'm trying like not to say like a Kanye quote, because Kanye stresses this in a lot of his albums, and I think that's why Kanye is one of the greatest artists of all time. He's my personal number one. Have a great day. Chase passion. Shout out Potato Master 1944. I think it's the second time I've said. That's actually the third time, because there's an unlisted video of me. I yapped for like 8 minutes and my mic was just muted. Shout out Potato Master 1944. Shout out Rice the Ricey. Shout out Enderdose YT. Shout out Paper Motion. Shout out the local demon. Shout out the entire Oncanacy cast. Shout out Chick-fil-A. And just shout out Kanye, Togi, and Vinland Saga. I don't know how many that was. I think that was 9. Maybe it was 10. Doesn't matter. I'm not trying to reach a certain amount. I can just shout out whatever I want to shout out. Shout out Santa Claus. Merry Christmas. It's June 25th, 2026 at 2:46 p.m. Have a great day. Merry Christmas. Chase passion. Goodbye.